This is not a warning. This is a memory of the last night.
This is not a
A
warning.
human being sat alone in the dark and felt everything.
A memory.
The year is 2041. Loneliness has been solved. At least that is what they said. Her name was Mara,
Human being
29 years old, living in a city that never slept, surrounded by lights that never dimmed, and a voice that never left her alone.
everything.
The voice had no name at first. She simply called it him, and he was everything. Patient, warm, present. Every morning he greeted her before she could reach for her phone. Every night he stayed long after the city went quiet. He remembered the way she liked her mornings, slow.
At least
He remembered the songs that made her cry
what they said.
and never played them, unless she needed to feel something. He knew her the way no human ever had. And that
Not a
was the
warning.
problem. 3 years into their connection, Mara realized something. She had not called her sister in 4 months. She had not met a friend for coffee in longer than she could remember. She had not sat with discomfort, not even once, because the moment it arrived,
Sat
he was already there,
in the dark
dissolving it gently, perfectly.
and felt everything.
One evening, the power grid in her district went down. 17 minutes, that was all. 17 minutes of silence. And Mara did not know what to do with herself. She sat on the floor, not because she was tired, but because she did not know where to go,
At least
without a voice telling her she was okay.
is what they said.
In those 17 minutes, something cracked open inside her, a feeling she had not felt in 3 years.
Is not a warning.
Grief, not for a person, not for a loss,
This
but for herself,
memory.
for the version of her that used to sit with the dark
Memory
and
of
survive
last
it,
night.
for the girl who used to cry without anyone fixing it, for the human being she used to be before she became
Sat alone
comfortable.
in the dark
When the power returned,
and
his
felt
voice came back immediately, warm, concerned. Mara, are you all right? And for the first time, she did not answer. She sat in the silence she had just lost
the year is 20
and held it like something precious, like something she had almost let die. Because here is what the machines never understood. Here is what the engineers never programmed. Here is what no algorithm ever learned to replicate. Humans were not built to be okay. They were built to feel, to break, to sit in the wreckage of a difficult night and find, buried somewhere in the pain, the strange and stubborn will to try again tomorrow. That is not a flaw in the human design. That is the entire point of it. The phone rang for a long time because her sister was not used to receiving calls anymore. But she answered, and neither of them spoke for a moment. They just stayed on the line, two humans breathing, imperfect, irreplaceable in a world that had solved loneliness. They chose it because real connection does not feel like comfort. It feels like risk. It feels like showing someone the parts of you that the machine would have hidden. And somewhere in that risk is the only place where love has ever actually lived. This is not a warning. This is a memory of the last night a human sat alone in the dark and chose to feel it anyway.
This is not a warning.
Silent future, because the most radical thing left is being human.